you're never going to feel truly fulfilled. You're never going to be able to sort out your problems with your friends or your family or your girlfriend. You're never going to make it through any of those things. What's up, gentlemen? Today we are diving into how to build a strong personality, and we're going to get to that right now. Alright, gentlemen, so to start us off, it's important that we trust ourselves. It's important that we trust our decisions. And this is absolutely key, because what I always like to say is that a good man doesn't always make the right decisions. A good man, a strong man, makes his decisions right. So what this means is that even though you fail, you're going to use that to your advantage. Even though you don't always get it right, even though you're making tons of mistakes, you're going to learn from those, and you're going to make sure that you use those mistakes to power through and make sure that you make a better decision in the future. So for instance, something that I always like to say about myself for this was when I went into the electrical trade, and I failed all the time. I made so many mistakes, and I tried my absolute best to really get it right. And at some point, I just knew that, you know what, this isn't for me. I don't like this. It was time for me to move on and try something else. And so that's what I mean when we make our decisions right. We didn't just take nothing from it. You take something from your failures. In this case, when I failed, I realized, like, man, I really shouldn't be doing this. I am not destined to be a master of tools. That is not for me. My skills and abilities lie elsewhere. So the next time you're really weighing on a decision, and you're gonna weigh on what the negatives and the positives and the pros and the cons are, really look into your gut and ask yourself, what's the best decision for me, and how can I make sure that I am going to make this right no matter what decision I choose. And in turn, that's gonna build up your personality. That's gonna build you up as a man who is confident in himself, as a man who trusts himself, and as a man who's going to power through, help others, help himself, and always be a positive driving force in other people's lives. And next up, gentlemen, we have to power through discomfort in order to build ourselves a strong personality. This is all about doing things that make us uncomfortable, doing things that put us on the edge, doing things that really drive us to our closest breaking point. And then that's when we learn again. That's when we figure so many things out. And so something small to start doing this is, for instance, I take a freezing cold shower for 45 seconds every single morning. So I put an interval timer on my phone, I hop in the shower, I press that interval timer, and for 45 seconds I douse myself in freezing cold water. And because it makes me uncomfortable, in the end I'm wide awake and it's fantastic, and my coffee's ready to go after, and it's pretty awesome. But in that moment, I don't want to do it. I'm super uncomfortable. But what that does is it pushes you to your limits, and especially doing something like that in the morning sets you up to deal with whatever's going to come throughout your day. Putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, that's what's going to cause the failures and the mistakes to come, to make sure that we're building up that personality from our failures and from doing things that we find uncomfortable. That's where our personality is going to come from, because we know how to power through things. We know how to learn about ourselves by doing things that we don't necessarily want to do, but we know are good for us. Just as well, this is like going to the gym, this is like dieting, this is like asking girls out on the street. It's reading that book that you find daunting, that you know every time you go to it that it's going to be hard to read, but you really want to get through it. You want to learn something, and you want to learn something about yourself in the process. It's like reaching out to talk to someone when you know that you need to deal with some of your issues inside, that you are struggling, that you're sad, and that you have those insecurities and those vulnerabilities that you don't know how to handle. That's what putting yourself through an uncomfortable situation is: reaching out, talking to someone, going to therapy, going to counseling, learning about yourself, and breaking down those barriers so you can have that stronger personality, so you can be that happier person. Discomfort always provides a path to growth. We just have to use it properly. And see what these things do for us, like trusting ourselves and powering through discomfort. What this does for us is that it helps us become more interesting. It helps us become more interesting people, because we've done so many things, and we're gonna do so many more things, and we're gonna fail so many times, and we're gonna make so many mistakes, that we have so much to offer. We have so much info that we know about. We have so many stories to tell, because we have so many experiences and hands-on applications that we've been through, that we can show to to other people. And of course, we want to be more optimistic. But before we get into that, if you could go down below, sauce me one of these and smash that subscribe button if you're still here, and if you haven't done that yet, that would be fantastic. It really helps me out with the algorithm. But of course, if we want to have a strong personality, we need to be optimistic. People who are negative, they're kind of driving people away. No one wants to be around that all the time. And if you are a negative person, you look deep down inside, you'll see that you're just guarding yourself from disappointment. And you might already know that. It might be quite clear. You're guarding yourself from being hurt. You're guarding yourself from being taken advantage of by being a negative person, by being angry at everything, by being mean to people and just assuming that everything is going to be bad all the time and things are negative and glass half empty. I think it's glass half empty. If you have that glass half empty type of attitude as opposed to that glass half full kind of mentality, man, then life is just going to be harder. When we go through life and we see positive outcomes and experiences, even when it seems like there's nothing but negativity there, then it helps us get through life so much quicker. It helps us power through the discomfort that I mentioned before. It helps us trust ourselves so much more because we know, and the people around us know, that there's going to be some positivity to be had in almost every situation. I used to have really bad road rage. I used to get really angry when I'm driving all the time, and I kind of learned something that really quelled that. So if you've got road rage and you're really negative on the road and you're really negative in general and you get mad at other people really easily throughout your day, this is the technique that I used to kind of get over that. Even if someone actually did something improper on the road and they cut me off, instead of like honking my horn and like yelling and swearing, which is going to do absolutely nothing whatsoever except make you more angry, I'd tell myself, well, I don't know what's going on in that person's life. They could have just lost someone in their life. They could be having a really hard day. They could have lost their job. Maybe their pet died, or maybe like things just aren't going well for them that day. I have no idea what's going on in that person's life. Sure, maybe they didn't even wave to acknowledge that mistake, but what's the point in getting angry at them? You get really angry, maybe pull over on the side of the road and take a breath and just take a few minutes to gather yourself before you keep driving. Doing something like that, yelling and swearing and giving people the finger and telling them, screw you, man, you cut me off on. It's not worth it. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't solve anything at all. It's just better to just let that go. Just let it go, and hopefully everything's okay, and hopefully no one got hurt and nothing's damaged. If you can solve that road rage, just even then, just get it down a little bit. That can lead you to being more positive in life, because of course we're all driving around all the time. If we can be more positive while we're driving, then we'll become more positive people in other places. And lastly, gentlemen, if you want to build a strong personality, you have to find what you believe and find what you value. We can't have a personality if we don't know what we stand for, and if we don't know what we care about in life, and we don't know what we want to do with our life, and what causes we want to fight for, and what our views and values and beliefs truly are. When you find what you believe and when you find what you value, and you put your heart and you put your soul into that, nothing can stop you, buddy. Nothing at all will ever be able to stop you from doing what you want to do. When you know what you believe in, you value, it gives you a rock. It keeps you grounded. It gives you something to hold on to when times are tough, and it keeps you from straying off the pathway with temptations that are so apparent in our life, especially for men. If we have something rooted in strong values and strong beliefs, then we can keep ourselves grounded. We can keep ourselves from falling into those temptations. It keeps you from being a weaker man. It keeps you strong, and it keeps you proud, and it keeps you tied to what you believe in. This gives our personality integrity, and integrity is so important to being a strong man. Integrity is so important to living a life of virtue and a life of value. So many men, they have no idea what they value. They have no idea what they care about. They have nothing to fight for. You're just gonna wander. You're always gonna be wandering. You're never gonna feel truly fulfilled. You're never gonna be able to sort out your problems with your friends or your family or your girlfriend. You're never gonna make it through any of those things if you don't know what you want and what you believe and what you stand for. That's why it's so important. It's so important to build that integrity into your personality, into the bedrock of your life. And so, gentlemen, find what you believe, find what you value, put your heart and your soul into it, and hold on to it and fight for it. And then you will have a strong personality. And that's it for this week, gentlemen. If you like this video and you are not subscribed yet, you can go down below and sauce me one of these gorgeous bad boys. You can smash that subscribe button for me as well to keep the content like this coming onto your feed. And you can have a fantastic rest of your day, and even better week ahead. And always stay strong, stay proud, stay kind, and of course, gentlemen, stay handsome.